Welcome to the Fire and Earth podcast with your hosts, Jason Mefford and Kathy Gruber. Fire and Earth, giving you the keys to unlock your limitless potential.
Hey, everyone.
Oh, I thought
you just said I was going to start.
I thought you said you were going to start.
Okay, so you start.
Here we have, all right, everybody, welcome to the Fire and Earth podcast. And because it's unedited, well, it's edited, but really unedited, you're going to get another crazy beginning. Because I thought Kathy said, so you're going to start. And she said, I'm going to start.
Altogether possible. I don't know. But anyway, we're here. And once again, what you need to know is this is Jason Mefford and I'm Kathy Gruber, and this is the Fire and Earth podcast. Okay, so Alistair, who a lot of you, if you've ever watched our episodes, occasionally a giant gray cat jumps up in my face and puts his butt to the camera because, it's a cat. Alistair came to me, now us, as an outdoor cat. He was the neighborhood cat. He lived here for 2, 3, 4 years. We don't know. And when I moved into my little post-divorce hovel, which I'm still in, the cat just showed up one day and decided that I was his. And I went, okay, great, because I missed my boys. And he has always been an indoor-outdoor cat, like carpeting. I have never seen him go to the bathroom. I know he must go to the bathroom because he's not magical. And we needed to take him to the vet. And the vet needed to have him fasting, and the vet needed to have him at the vet at 8:30 in the morning. Now, normally he would wander at night. And when he wanders at night, there's a lovely neighborhood man, an older gentleman named Don, who I only give him treats. I don't feed him. I only give him treats. But he can't have treats because he's got to go to the vet. So we decided to lock him in overnight. And what does that mean? Well, he's got to go to the bathroom. So we had bought a litter box ages ago, assuming he knew how to use a litter box. We didn't know. We really hoped. And so at midnight that night, we stayed up till like 11:30. We closed the door. We locked him in. We showed him the litter box. And overnight, he started to freak out, running around the house, scratching at the door. And we're like, oh my God, this is going to be a nightmare. And then I hear scrape, 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 scrape. And I'm like, yes. Mm-hmm. And now we have not an outdoor-indoor cat. We have an indoor-outdoor cat. So we have started leaving him in at night because he's been getting into scraps with the neighbor's cat, and nothing bad, but little bite marks and little scratches on his ears. And it's like, we would like to sort of more bring him as an indoor cat. And his ability to adapt to, I don't know that I'm sure when the people first got him, that then he was abandoned, he had a litter box. But this cat, who's now 10 years old, was like, I guess this is what we do now. And his ability to adapt so quickly was so impressive to me. And I think, how often as humans does our situation change and we piss and moan and we complain about it, when just go in the cat box, just adapt to the situation, just accept that something is different and that you have to be different to make this more easy, to make that flow happen. So I thought I just wanted to share that story because I was really impressed with that ability to just pivot, right? And adapt to something new that needed to happen. We needed to take him to the vet. It wasn't like, a choice. It was kind of a thing that had to happen. And now we realize that he's adaptable enough that we can start to shift our entire lifestyle with him. So that's what I wanted to throw out today. Adaptability.
Well, and I think it's interesting and probably fitting too that our beginning this time happened exactly the way it did, right? Because we had to adapt, right? And it's okay, right? And I think, like you said, what's interesting is as humans, we like to piss and moan and complain and woe is me when things happen, but we are very, very adaptable as human beings.
Yeah.
When we're kind of forced to, and it's interesting, like you said, to watch animals because they don't have some of the belief structures that we have as humans.
They don't have an ego.
And so they're able to adapt much quicker than we do because we let our ego get in the way. But yeah, it's like he was scratching and needing to get out because he's like, I gotta go potty and I can't go in my favorite spot. And what am I gonna do? You know,
Hmm.
my bladder or my bowels are about to burst, and oh, there's a cat box over there. Well, guess I'm not getting out, so I'm just gonna go to the cat box.
Guess I'm doing that now. And I almost so we had just watched Puss in Boots like the week before. And I don't know if you've seen the latest Puss in Boots. It was so good. It was one of the best children's movies I've ever seen. Their portrayal of the wolf, oh, terrifying. I mean, it was just so good. But the Puss in Boots was so dehumanized from having to use the cat box because he was used to being. So of course I, as an only child, and as me, I anthropomorphize everything. So I was like, oh god, am I like breaking his little spirit that he now has to go in a litter box? Is that like demeaning for him that he can't just go shit outside? So I had to kind of come to terms with that. I'm like, I'm imagining him like in there going and just like the Antonio Banderas character in that. If you've not seen go see Puss in Boots. It was really good. But yeah, I was like, I had to kind of get over the, how does he feel about this, and is he okay? And that was me putting my human emotions on it. And why are humans so loath to adapt? It's oftentimes stubbornness. It's this, you can't tell me what to do. It's this rebel ego state comes out and is like, oh, you want me to go over there? Fuck you, I'm not doing that. And if we sometimes just relax into that and let that preconceived thing go, or that, well, that's the way we've always done it. That's the other thing I hear from companies all the time. We've always done triplicate and we throw two away. It's the ham story, right? Why do we cut the ends off the ham?
Well, yeah, that Zig Ziglar story.
For those of you who don't know, and I know we talked about this, mom goes to put the ham in the oven for Easter, and before she does, she cuts the ends off and sticks it in the pan. And the daughter goes, why do you do that? And the mom goes, well, actually, I don't know. Why don't you go ask your grandmother? We've just always done it this way. And the daughter calls up grandma and says, hey, grandma, we're about to put our Easter ham in. And my mom cut the ends off. And I asked her why. And she said she didn't know why we did that and that I should call you. And grandma laughs and goes, oh, well, one year I got a ham that was too big for the pan. So in order to make it fit, I had to cut the ends off. And that's just what we always did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It didn't have to happen.
No, to make it fit in the pan.
To make it fit in the pan. But that's not something that needed to happen. It was just a one-time thing that became this habit that then people didn't understand why they did it.
Yeah, because we get used to it from a habit perspective, and then it becomes comfortable, and we don't want to change. But I think what's interesting, as you were talking too, especially, being a man, a provider, a father, right? There's a lot of pressure, especially around finances and some other things like that that most men feel. And this can be true of anything. I'm just using this as an example. But I think sometimes when, because of my actions in a way, right? Maybe we had to adapt as a young family because we didn't have as much money for whatever reason because of the job situation. Often we feel like we're inconveniencing other people and, oh, I'm so sorry for doing this kind of thing. But what's interesting is when people typically look back on their lives, especially, married couples, partners, often some of the happiest times are when things are tough and they have to adapt, right? And those are often the times when they're actually the happiest, right? And so I think maybe that's another side of the adaptability too, is it's like, we shouldn't fear it. We can move through it as fast or as slow as we want to, but also really see it as a blessing because often it's our greatest learnings. It's some of our happiest times, when you just have to make do with what's there.
Yeah, you come together and face it as a team kind of thing. Well, and I was just thinking about what you just said, and it's like, how do we get stronger? And I used this example last night during our board or during our town hall for the castle. I was like, we get stronger by lifting heavier things. If we never lifted more than 2 pounds, we would never grow. We would never build that muscle. We would never get stronger. So sometimes it's that adversity, it's those challenges that we have to face emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, that grow us and make us stronger. So when someone challenges us and puts stress into our lives, and whatever that stress means, then we have to adapt to that, and that leads to growth, which leads to us coming out the other side stronger, better people. And I think we forget about that. You know, we're in it, and it's like, I don't want to do this. We get all cranky. We put our sleeves over our hands. We go, I don't want to do this. And if you would just surrender, well, that's what they do. That's an
No. When your hands came up, yeah, I was expecting to see your sleeves.
I couldn't get my sleeves down in enough time. But there's certain actresses, my ex used to call them sleeve actresses, because they were constantly doing this with their sleeves. And yeah. But it's like, it's true. You know, we get so, don't mock me. We get so stuck in our ways, and we don't want to adapt. And I think so often it's just being stubborn. And if you would just surrender and realize you're going to come out the other side better, you know, the cat is so much happier now that, you know, when it's pouring down rain, if that ever happens again in California, you know, he'll be able to just go in the nice, warm, cozy litter box and not have to trudge through the water. So I don't know. I just encourage people to look at places where you can grow and change and stretch yourself, because once you stretch, you can't go back any other way.
Yep. No, and it's always a good reminder, because we always do adapt. I think sometimes we forget how adaptable we really are if things have been comfortable for a while, but it's nothing to fear. And like you said, that's usually how we actually really grow and strengthen ourselves. So
yeah. So lovely. I think we should end there. That was fabulous. We'll adapt. We'll try our best. All right. I am Kathy Gruber. I could be reached at kathygruber.coach.
And I'm Jason Mefford. I can be reached at jasonmefford.com. So go out, have a great week, and we will see you on the next episode of the Fire and Earth podcast. See ya.